After relocating from South Africa to America and becoming the host of The Daily Show, Trevor Noah has since become the biggest and most famous comedian from Africa. But what if I tell you that Americans absolutely hate him?
Trevor Noah is the lamest person I've ever seen on TV. He's the wackest dude on planet Earth. He's not even funny.
I have spoken with a lot of people, a lot of leftist people. I don't know anyone who listens to Trevor Noah or watches Trevor Noah. I don't know anyone who likes Trevor Noah.
Hey Trevor, who's writing the rules, man?
Who the hell's writing your jokes?
Yeah.
You got these two jokes back to back.
Yeah, I mean right now, you look like the joke.
You could see why he was fired. He's not very funny.
Pretty much drying paint is funnier than Trevor Noah is. Why would I watch a propaganda outlet as unfunny as Trevor Noah?
If you ever want to get sick to your fucking stomach, look up Trevor Noah's Instagram. I've never watched this kid do anything funny. He's a pretty boy nightmare. He's like a smarmy, you're not getting the pass from me, man. Like, I don't want to hear no race bait and shit. You're just a corny dickhead.
Because of his unapologetic and unfiltered style of comedy,
everyone is here tonight. We've got politicians, we've got the media, we've got celebrities, basically anyone who's been to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Criticizing US politicians.
Do you think Donald Trump is racist?
I do.
Beefing with rappers like Kanye West.
Trevor Noah, not even from America. He just looked black.
And sometimes making offensive jokes about different races. Trevor Noah has since made himself the target of cancel culture and labeled as a racist comedian. Trevor Noah is a master at finding racism where there is none. Trevor Noah doesn't need to tell jokes because he already is one. Scanning Trevor Noah's monologue, no jokes detected, with the former US President Donald Trump even saying, Trevor Noah was a waste of time, no talent, no anything. Jon Stewart was only slightly better but highly overrated. Comedy Central should focus on comedy and not politics because they are not very good at it, to which Trevor Noah responded on the show by stating,
the point is Trump sent out one of his thingies, I don't know what they're called, and it was like, Trevor Noah was never funny, Jon Stewart was only slightly better, and then like he goes on like a rant and he's just like, these people don't realize if they moved more to the center like me, they would have more followers. Then I'm like, center like you? I'm like, my man, you think you're in the middle? But what was funny was like, someone was like, oh, he said that you're not funny, and I was like, yeah, I read that, but I was like, oh, so you watching?
But to understand how Trevor Noah became the target of cancel culture and blacklisted by most people, we have to go back to where it all started. Trevor Noah was born on the 20th of February 1984 in the city of Johannesburg, South Africa. His father, Robert Noah, is Swiss-German and his mother, Patricia Nombuyiselo Noah, is Xhosa. Trevor was raised by his mother and grandmother in the black township of Soweto and began his schooling at a private Roman Catholic primary and high school in Maryvale. In the beginning, Trevor wanted to be an actor, and in 2002 he had a small role as a teenager on one of the episodes of the South African soapie Isidingo. Not long after that, he later hosted his own radio show called Noah's Ark on YFM. In 2005, when he was 21 years old, his friends dared him to perform a comedy routine at a nightclub, and he entertained the audience with humorous stories about his friends and his life.
But then how did you get in? How did you get into doing stand-up?
Man, I didn't even plan. I'd never been to stand-up, I'd never seen it, and I was out at a show. Well, it was a bar really, and there were a few guys doing comedy. I was there with my cousin and his friend, and they got drunk. They started heckling the comedians. I didn't even know what was going on. And then the host of the show, he was like, oh, you think you're so funny? Why don't you come up? And my cousin's like, I can't go up, but he can. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even, because I'm sober. I don't know why I've been involved in but that's what drunk people do. Drunk people throw you under the bus, so I was gone.
After that night, Trevor continued to perform at local comedy clubs and gaining recognition along the way. Eventually, he cancelled his radio show on YFM and quit his acting career just to focus on comedy. But before his comedy career took off, he started by co-hosting various South African TV shows such as The Real Koboza, a dating game show called The Amazing Date, a reality competition series, and even participating on the 4th series of Strictly Come Dancing. In 2010, Trevor Noah became a spokesperson and a consumer protection agent for a South African mobile network provider, Cell C. By this time, he was doing comedy at a larger scale and also hosted his own show, The Tonight with Trevor Noah, which was successful enough to be moved to DSTV for its 2nd series. Trevor's stand-up comedy specials in South Africa include The Daywalker in 2009, The Daywalker Revisited in 2010, Crazy Normal in 2011, That's Racist in 2012, and It's My Culture in 2013. In 2011, he moved to the United States and in the following year became the first South African stand. In 2013, he doubled back by becoming the first South African comedian to appear on the Late Night Show with David Letterman.
This is going to be great. He is a talented young comedian from South Africa, and you can see this man in his off-Broadway show entitled Born a Crime, Wednesdays through Saturdays at 45 Bleecker right here in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Trevor Noah.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Or not. I was so happy when I got here and I saw people that looked like they were from South Africa. I felt at home. I greeted them in the streets like, hey, sanbonani. And they were like, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué va lo que de paisanos? ¿Qué lo que los? Say de favalo, ¿qué lo said? Whoa, 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 no, no. I didn't know this, but apparently I'm Mexican. I never knew this because we don't have Mexicans in Africa. They never came over. So this is new to me, you know? This is different. I have people coming up to me, just speaking to me in Spanish randomly, just out of the blue. Hey, paisano, ¿qué pasó, güey? Que la lo quiero decir, que chalo, que la lo. I'm like, oh, señor, mi no hablo español. I say, what? You don't speak Spanish? I say, no, not a word. Like, hey, you should be ashamed of yourself, man.
This exposure helped Trevor Noah to become a frequent contributor on The Daily Show by helping in writing jokes for the show behind the scenes. Eventually in 2015, Comedy Central announced that he would be taking over after Jon Stewart as host of The Daily Show, with his first guest being Kevin Hart, and that's when people started digging up his past social media presence. The internet turned its attention to a series of past jokes posted by Trevor Noah on his Twitter account, some of which were criticized as being misogynistic, like fat chicks everywhere be like, oh yeah, the weekend, people are gonna get drunk and think that I'm sexy. Originally when men proposed, they went down on one knee, so if the woman said no, they were in the perfect uppercut position, and other tweets were seen as anti-Semitic and mocking the Holocaust. Almost bumped a Jewish kid crossing the road. He didn't look before crossing, but I still would have felt so bad in my German car. Note to self, langoustines are not Jewish prawns. South Africans know how to recycle like Israel knows how to be peaceful. Messi gets the ball and real players try to foul him, but Messi doesn't go down easy, just like Jewish chicks. Xbox and PlayStation players are like Jews and Muslims. They are so similar, but they hate each other so much. Behind every successful billionaire is a double S rich Jewish man. But Trevor didn't just stop there, because he also came for the atheist community with tweets like, without God, atheists wouldn't exist. I always wonder why atheists don't spend as much time questioning Satan's existence. Christopher Hitchens died, you spread the word of his greatness and tell everybody to read his books. Hashtag we all need God. So Christopher Hitchens wrote a book that atheists live by. They worship him and believe his teachings, with some responding, also, I don't see how using hashtag we all need God on a tweet about Hitch a day after his death is comedy. Trevor Noah responded to the backlash by tweeting, to reduce my views on a few jokes that didn't land is not a true reflection of my character nor my evolution as a comedian. And Comedy Central defended him by saying in a statement, like many comedians, Trevor Noah pushes boundaries. He is provocative and spares no one, himself included. To judge him and his comedy based on a handful of jokes is unfair. Trevor is a talented comedian with a bright future at Comedy Central, as if the situation couldn't get any worse. In a 2013 comedy special, It's My Culture, Trevor faced further criticism after a video clip of his show resurfaced on the internet, showing him making jokes about Australian Aboriginal women.
All women of every race can be beautiful. Yeah. And I know some of you are sitting there now going, oh, Trevor, yeah, but I've never seen a beautiful Aborigine. Yeah, but you know what you say? You say yet. That's what you say. Yet. Because you haven't seen all of them, right? And plus, it's not always about looks. Yeah. Maybe Aborigine women do special things. Yes, maybe they'll just like jump on top of you and just be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm actually shocked by what I just watched. Did not expect this from Trevor Noah. Those comments are absolutely disgraceful, and the rest of the clip is also putrid in its mix of racism and sexism. The audience members should be ashamed of themselves for laughing at this ish. Trevor Noah, for such a social justice warrior, your race baiting isn't smart or witty at all. It's just simply racist. Our beautiful woman shouldn't be treated like a punchline of a joke. Congrats, you played yourself. He is not even funny. I don't get why people watch him. I think people who don't know the history of indigenous Australians or Australia should keep their mouths shut. I am so disgusted and appalled by the comments by Trevor Noah and his attempts at humor that denigrates Aboriginal women. I hope Australians boycott his shows. That kind of humor is not funny and does damage. Hey Trevor, your comments about Aboriginals in this clip is utterly unacceptable. As a man of color, you are usually in point with racism and divide. Here you are perpetrating and encouraging racial abuse. And Trevor Noah responded, you're right. fact, after visiting Australia's museum and learning about Aboriginal history firsthand, I vowed never to make a joke like that again. And I haven't. I'll make sure the clip from 2013 is not promoted in any way. His jokes about the domestic abuse of Rihanna by Chris Brown were also a topic of discussion. Chris Brown's Fame album is #1 on iTunes. Rihanna is cancelling shows due to poor sales. I guess he beat her again. Today, because of allergies, I woke up with my face puffy and swollen. I look like I was in the car with Chris Brown. Usher can't dance like he used to. Chris Brown would have beaten Usher if he didn't beat Rihanna. So Chris Brown and Rihanna are back together. Now we just need a Mayweather-Pacquiao to happen. After Trevor took over The Daily Show from Jon Stewart, viewership dropped by 37%, and its ratings fell below those of several other shows hosted by The Daily Show alumni. Critics like the American news website Salon gave Trevor less favorable reviews, reading, "Jon Stewart created a national treasure. Trevor Noah has dulled its knife, weakened the satire, let the powerful run free." Even though he was under extreme public scrutiny, the creators of the show saw nothing wrong with his jokes and were still fully supporting him in hosting the show. In fact, according to Comedy Central's president, Chris McCarthy, The Daily Show under Trevor Noah was the #1 show for millennials. And James P. of the New York Times praised him and the show's writers, saying, "Mr. Noah's debut was largely successful. It was also because of the operating system. The show's writing running under the surface." Robert Lloyd of the Los Angeles Times described Trevor as charming and composed, almost inevitably low-key compared to the habitually antic and astonished Jon Stewart. Noah's platform on the show led to 3 stand-up specials on Comedy Central and Netflix. By 2017, nightly viewership of The Daily Show was less than half of what it was when Jon Stewart was the host, but viewership among millennials remained solid. One of the reasons for this decline was because some people found Trevor Noah's jokes as offensive.
And this is, if you, in the book I talk about this as well. I go, I saw people and race as chocolates.
I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that. I'm that colour, and I wouldn't say that.
Listen, when I grew up, I believed that all people were chocolates. My mom was dark chocolates, my dad was white chocolates, and I was milk chocolates. So I see all people.
So you see that as funny, but do you not realise that some people might not like that? And Lenny Henry went on to say that joke about how he was leaking chocolate. He says, "I knew there had to be a better way of trying to put the message over, putting your jokes over without having to pick on people because of their colour or because of their race."
Yes, but
his view is different from yours.
Because he's Lenny Henry and I'm Trevor Noah.
Yeah, but he's black.
Yes, but he was talking about leaking chocolate, implying that his skin color was not something that belonged to him. That is a different joke.
He's just trying to say that his skin color is chocolate.
No.
You're splitting hairs here.
No, but that is exactly what we should be doing, because what you're doing is creating.
I'm not sure I would.
You're creating racial jokes.
I would say.
No, you're creating monoliths. You're creating monoliths of jokes, and that's not fair to do.
Despite this, Comedy Central extended Trevor Noah's contract as host of The Daily Show through 2022 and was also given the opportunity to produce and host annual end-of-the-year specials on Comedy Central, but his jokes continue to rub people the wrong way. After France won the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Trevor Noah jokingly made a remark saying,
"I mean, look, I get it. They have to say it's the French team, but look at those guys, huh? Look at those guys. You don't get that tan by hanging out in the south of France, my friends." Basically, if you don't understand, France is Africa's backup team, right? Once Senegal and Nigeria got knocked out, that's who we root for. You know, it's like when Paul Simon wins a Grammy, we're like, yes, we'll take that too. Thank you very much.
The French ambassador of the United States, Gerard Araud, issued a letter condemning Trevor Noah's joke, writing, "Unlike the United States of America, France does not refer to its citizens based on their race, religion, or origin. For us, there is no hyphenated identity. The roots are an individual reality. By calling them an African team, it seems like you are denying their Frenchness."
Yeah. And I was shocked at how angry a lot of French people got. Like genuine, a lot of French people were angry and they were like, "Oh, Trevor, how can you say this? Why will you say these things? You know, this is horrible." And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, not everyone likes every joke that you tell, and I get that. But this was interesting. I got a letter from the ambassador of France, and I'll read it to you. It was about that joke, and he says, I'll try to read it how I hope he wrote it, which was, he says, "Sir, I watched with great attention your July 17th show when you spoke of the victory of the French team at the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia final, which took place last Sunday. I heard your words about an African victory. Nothing could be less true." Now, first of all, I think it could have been less. I could have said they were Scandinavian. That would have been less true.
Much like other controversies, this public back and forth barely had a negative impact on Trevor Noah's career, as right after that in 2018, he appeared in films like Coming to America, American Vandal, and Black Panther as a voice actor. He then launched the Trevor Noah Foundation to improve equitable access to quality education for the underserved youth in South Africa. Through his foundation, Trevor Noah's vision is a world where education enables the youth to dream, see, and build the impossible. Within the same year, he signed a multi-year contract with Viacom, giving them the rights to any of his future projects. In addition to the deal, Trevor Noah also launched an international production and distribution company called Day Zero Productions, which is a joint venture between Paranormal Global and Trevor Noah. Its current film projects include the adaptation of Trevor Noah's best-selling and award-winning autography book, Born a Crime, with Lupita Nyong'o starring in the movie as well. Day Zero Productions is producing several scripted and unscripted series, including Mock the Week with Amazon Freevee, Last One Laughing with Amazon Prime, and The Turning Point with MSNBC and Peacock. Trevor Noah's production company also produced 2 Kid of the Year TV specials for Nickelodeon, casting Billie Eilish, Angelina Jolie, Ken Jeong, Chloe Kim, and Chris Hemsworth, just to name a few. His partnership with Time Studios, HBO Max, and Discovery Plus for the series For All Humankind brought him even more success, with Google ratings of 4.5 stars, an IMDb rating of 8.1 out of 10, and a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But given that Trevor has always addressed political issues through his comedy, Julius Malema responded to Trevor Noah by stating,
"We love Trevor Noah. We'll continue to laugh at his jokes. He's our brother. He's doing well. He's entitled to his own opinions. He must refuse to be used. Trevor Noah can say anything he wants to say about me. So many things were said about me. He doesn't know me. A lot of people do not know me, and they draw a lot of conclusions about me. So let him say whatever he wants to say about me. It's a free country. We still wish him well, and we hope his joke was made genuinely, not because he was trying to appease his masters he visited at Danny Hayes in Cape Town, and they took him to Parliament. Despite all the nonsense he said, he remains one of our own. Some brothers can sell you for their own survival."
In May of 2021, Trevor shared his thoughts about the Israeli and Palestinian conflict, which was followed by his controversial remarks on the Russian and Ukraine war. In 2022, while Kanye West and his then wife Kim Kardashian were going through a divorce, him also beefing with Pete Davidson for hooking up with Kim, Trevor Noah gave his commentary on the situation in support of Kim Kardashian by saying,
"Oh, leave me to create my art." Yeah, but Kanye, you told us you have problems. Now, when we worry about that, you say we shouldn't worry because it's not problems or it is problems. Which is it? It puts society in a precarious position. And the reason I say that is because of his harassment of Kim, which I know is crazy to say, because there's a lot of people go like, Kim Kardashian, she loves publicity, she loves celebrity, she loves all of this, she does the Kardashians, this is her life, this is her thing. Yeah, and I get it, but there's also an element of a woman saying to her ex, hey, please leave me alone. You know what I mean? Please leave me alone. And so like this story keeps on escalating. You've got Kanye West, who's harassing Kim Kardashian, and then you've got Pete Davidson, who's now embroiled in the whole thing.
After catching wind of Trevor's commentary, Kanye responded with an Instagram post of Trevor Noah's Google search results with the caption, "Kumbaya my lord," with Trevor Noah commenting on the post, "You are an indelible part of my life, yeah, which is why it breaks my heart to see you like this. I don't care if you support Trump and I don't care if you roast Pete. I do, however, care when I see you on a path that's dangerously close to peril and pain. Don't ever forget, the biggest trick racists ever played on black people was teaching us to strip each other of our blackness whenever we disagree, tricking us into dividing ourselves into splinters so that we could never unite into a powerful rod." Following this, Kanye West was suspended from Instagram for 24 hours and has since addressed the situation on the DC podcast.
When I was trying to get that heroin addict away from my kids that was tattooing my kids' names on them, Skeet, Pete Davidson, they popping up. You know what I'm saying? It's like they, Trevor Noah, not even from America. He just looked black, right? Gonna say, yo, Kim, it's gonna get dangerous. So they putting all that, he crazy, he's so OJ. Nori just want the family back together. I just want the family back together.
When Trevor Noah was asked if he had a beef with Kanye West, he said the following.
Why am I beefing with Ye? That's an interesting way to phrase it, because a beef has to go both ways. No, it does. It genuinely does. I think, first of all, I was never beefing with Kanye West. I was concerned about Kanye West. And genuinely, I mean this, because if somebody says that they have a mental health issue, and they say to everyone that when they don't take their medication, they're unable to control themselves, and then everyone ignores when that person is having an episode and they haven't taken their medication, and then
they platform the person and then they put them out. I sometimes think it's a little shitty, to be honest with you, you know?
After that, he was later invited to serve as the host of the White House Correspondents' Dinner and said a few uncomfortable jokes.
Not to mention, no president in my memory has given more marginalized groups opportunities. You know, I'm talking about women, the LGBTQ community, the Taliban, the list goes on and on. And I know, Mr. President, that the left is super upset at you, you know? I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. Oh, Laura Ingraham, wow! What can you say about her that hasn't already been said by the Anti-Defamation League? Powerful. You could say that, Mr. President. Informing the American public is harder than ever before. You're battling conspiracy theories. That the election was stolen by George Soros, that JFK Jr. is still alive, that everyone in this room is a secret pedophile. And that's just what Clarence Thomas's wife believes. It's insane, people. This is truly the golden era of conspiracy theories. A lot of big media names in the room tonight. Chuck Todd is here. Chuck, you here? Yeah? How you doing? I'd ask a follow-up, but I know you don't know what those are. Bunch of haters. You know what? So what, Jeffrey? You made a mistake. You whipped it out in front of your co-workers. That's the first step to winning a Grammy for Comedy Album of the Year. You're halfway there, my friend.
In December of 2020, Trevor Noah purchased an 11,000 square foot Bel Air mansion in Los Angeles for $27.5 million with 6 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. But in March of 2022, he sold the mansion for $26.3 million. In September of that year, Trevor requested some extra minutes on set during the filming of The Daily Show to announce that he would be leaving the program at an undetermined future date after hosting the show for 7 years. After this episode went public, it was confirmed a month later that Trevor's last show would be on the 8th of December 2022.
Anyway, did you guys hear Trevor Noah stepping down from The Daily Show?
Stepping down?
Or leaving, or
fired. What's the
No, he's
the
stepping
actual
down.
word?
He's stepping down.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's no more doing The Daily Show. He's been hosting it since 2015 and now he's not going to do it anymore. Yeah.
Now, shout out to him. I think he represented us pretty well.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, bro.
But I was shocked. I'm like, geesh, why would you want to leave such a good gig like that?
As you would imagine, given how controversial Trevor Noah's takes were on The Daily Show, the conservative community who didn't agree with his political opinions couldn't help but celebrate his departure.
Basically it. So Trevor Noah wants to learn more languages, travel, do all the things, but his time has come to an end. And now the show is obviously on Comedy Central, which is ironic because Trevor Noah is not funny.
People aren't watching the whole show. You've heard me talk about with this show, we always go by the number per show numbers.
Right. Yeah.
And we have that never includes the bits that you guys can go and subscribe on YouTube, Crowder Bits, or the Instagram videos, right? It's how many people are tuning into the full hour show or Mug Club, 2-hour show. Those numbers are really, really bad with Trevor Noah because the retention isn't good, which means you can kind of trick someone with a clickbait title, but if they're not sticking around, it's also hard to get sponsorships in front of them. And Trevor Noah has been bad for business. And I would argue because he's unfunny and untalented.
And in 2023, it was announced that Trevor would launch a weekly Spotify original podcast going over various topics. The podcast was released in November of that year and is called What Now with Trevor Noah. In each episode, Trevor has a special guest with him. In 2024, he hosted the Grammy Awards for the 4th time after previously hosting it 3 times in a row. But what if I tell you that 2 years before that, when Trevor was set to host the 64th Grammy Awards, there was an online petition to remove Trevor Noah as the host, but only 116 people ended up signing it. And this year, Trevor partnered with the video game company Epic Games to produce a comedy club within Fortnite called Joke Night. He also released his 4th Netflix special, Where Was I? Although Trevor has not said or done anything controversial for a while, unless he quits comedy, his provocative jokes and way of approaching political topics might get him in hot water sooner or later in the future, which most likely may be the final nail in the coffin for the end of his international career.